What should you do if you're a parent with an alienated child? If your child used to have a better relationship with you or with your ex, and you know in your heart that your child would be happier getting back to normal, here's some advice that other families find helpful. Children will want to listen to these tips. When parents slip up, and all parents make mistakes, you can remind mom and dad about how to do a better job. If you are the favored parent, you may believe that your children are better off away from the other parent, that your ex really is so bad that the children should hate or fear them. If you believe this, you should know that the anger and disappointment that goes along with a breakup makes it very difficult, even for the best parents, to understand that their children need both of you. Before deciding that your children don't need the other parent in their lives, do your kids a favor and at least consider the possibility that you may be too close to the situation. When emotions are strong, it's hard to see what's best for your children. Others may see things more clearly. Do respected professionals or the court believe that your children should repair their damaged relationship with your ex? Accept guidance from them. Perhaps you know, down deep, that your ex is not as bad for the children as you feel.
Loving parents want to do anything they can to relieve their children's suffering. Make no mistake about it, children who lose a parent, for whatever reason, are suffering. And favored parents and rejected parents need to keep this in mind before they allow a child to disown a parent. When children grow up, they let us know that despite their rejection of the parent, they didn't want to be taken seriously. They didn't want the relationship to end.
Children who lose a parent under any circumstances, death, divorce, alienation, are damaged. They may not show their hurt, but surely you know that such a big loss, and sometimes it includes other relatives, leaves scars on children. The harm is not just during childhood. People who grow up without the ability to love and accept love from a parent are much more likely to suffer serious emotional problems. Children who grow up thinking they have a good parent and a bad parent often reach the same conclusion about themselves. Part of me is all good and part of me is all bad. These children go back and forth between feeling great and feeling awful. Alienated children often see their friends in the same way, all good or all bad. When conflicts come up with a friend, alienated children often do the same thing they did with their rejected parent. They reject that friend rather than work it out. One of the unfortunate lessons that alienated children learn is to avoid relationships that have problems rather than learning to manage these problems. And what relationship doesn't have problems? This can make for a very lonely life. Alienated children are more prone to depression when they grow up. And listen closely to this. They are angry with their parents. Both parents. They realize that one parent used them to hurt the other parent. The parent who was favored in the past may now be rejected. Blowback.
I tell favored parents that when your children grow up, they may understand and appreciate that your mistakes kept them from having a relationship with their other parent. And they may reject you so that you'll find out what it's like to lose your children. But rejected parents aren't off the hook, because when children grow up, they're angry with that parent too. They feel that that parent should have worked harder to maintain the relationship. How could you have let me end the relationship, the children ask? You wouldn't let me stop going to school. You wouldn't let me avoid a doctor if I needed to see the doctor. You didn't even let me ride a bicycle without a helmet. How could you have put a child in charge of such a life-altering decision?
It's not always easy for parents to know how to help children with these problems. Take a hard, honest look at your motives and feelings. Ask tough questions. Do I have it in for my ex? Am I ignoring my child's need to love both parents? Does it really help my children to hear me putting down their parent? Wise parents understand that although they may have little use for their ex, Their children need to have the best relationship possible with both parents. Although you probably feel angry and disappointed, and you might be tempted to tell your kids just how you feel, don't. It will only hurt them. It may help to picture your family canoeing down some rapids. To get to the end safely and have some fun getting there, you must follow the current rather than fight it. At the same time, you must paddle skillfully to stay on course. To do this well, you must avoid 2 mistakes. One is to do nothing and hope that time will heal the problem. This risks a lot of frustration, maybe even tragedy. The current might land you on the rocks. The second mistake is reacting too strongly. Fighting the current too hard will exhaust you and you will still end up on the rocks. Finding the right balance is not easy, but your family's well-being is at stake. Certainly the effort is worth it. So what can divorced parents do to keep themselves and their kids from crashing on the rocks when tensions run high? To protect your children and your relationship with them, here are some tips to better manage these difficult situations. Children, pay close attention so you'll know that when your parents follow these tips, they are trying to do what's best for you. Tip 1. Follow the parenting plan. Make sure the children spend the time with each parent that they're supposed to. Children may not like this advice. They might think, it's my life, I should decide when I'll be with my parents. But letting kids run the parenting plan gives them too much control. They may then decide that they can do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it. Once kids have this control, it's hard to get it back. You can exercise authority by letting your kids know that you will enforce the rules about seeing the other parent just like you would if they skipped class or stopped doing homework.
When a parent violates court orders and encourages the children to do the same, they're teaching the wrong message. They're teaching that it's okay to disobey the law. Instead, children need to learn that when you're having problems with someone, deal with them. Don't avoid them.
Avoid scheduling children's activities that occur when they are supposed to be with your ex, or discuss it with your ex before involving your children. Otherwise, you set up a bad situation. If the other parent doesn't let the children attend, they'll be mad. If the other parent agrees, the children might conclude that you call the shots and the other parent is a pushover. Also, don't make your children feel that you need them to stay home to take care of you rather than spend time with the other parent. Tip 2. No bad-mouthing. Don't say mean or nasty things about the other parent. This is so important. Do you remember how you felt when someone put down one of your parents? Children hate it. They take it personally. When you badmouth a parent, you badmouth the child. The child who is convinced that one of his parents is bad feels ashamed. Children need to feel proud of their parents.
If you think that there's something unflattering about the other parent that the children need to hear, ask yourself, how would I talk to the children about this during the marriage if my goal was to protect the children's high regard for that parent? For example, if a father is chronically late when it's time to pick his children up, the mother could explain to the children that, yes, dad's late. Lots of people have that problem. It doesn't mean he doesn't love you, and he always shows up.
Be careful that your words and the tone of your voice express respect for the other parent, not contempt. Refer to them as mom or dad, not by the first name. Avoid gestures like frowning and rolling your eyes when discussing the other parent. Children can tell when you are more interested in hearing bad things than good about the other parent. If you ask, do you think your mom would rather date her boyfriend than spend time with you on Saturday night? It's pretty clear that you're searching for things to criticize. By your gestures and words, children learn to say what you want to hear. Let them know that in addition to complaints, you want to hear good things about their time with the other parent, and you want them to feel free to express complaints they have about you. Here is some advice for children. Everyone has the right to their own relationship with each parent without having to see things just as the parents do. You can learn a lot of good things from your parents, but learning to hate is not one of them. You have a right to love and respect both your parents, regardless of how they feel about each other and what they say about each other. Tip 3. Keep your children out of adult matters. such as what is going on in court. Involving them may help you feel better, but it burdens children. Just as good parents screen children from seeing inappropriate content in movies and video games, parents should also screen kids from divorce issues. Tip 4. There are times, though, when children need help to see things more accurately. Find a way to correct their false beliefs about you without adding to the tensions. For instance, if the children accuse you of never doing anything with them, you can remind them of the things that you did do. Without putting down their other parent, simply say, "That's not correct. Someone made a mistake." If they don't believe you, show them pictures and other proof of the way things were. Tip 5. At public events, treat your ex with courtesy and respect, and encourage your children to do the same. Sports practices and games, school, church or temple events, and family celebrations all give opportunities to teach your children to be polite. When family members attend an event, expect your children to do the right thing and greet the family warmly. Don't teach your kids that it's okay to disrespect adults. The day may come when they treat you the same way.
It's not necessary for parents to sit together at athletic events or school events. They don't have to act like great buddies, but what the children do need is for their parents to act civil and polite with each other at public events. In some unfortunate families, parents are just incapable of attending public events together without creating a scene. And in that case, the best that we can offer is to tell parents that they should only attend those public events that occur when the children are scheduled to be with them. Because it's far better for a child if a parent misses a big game than for the child to have to witness a big argument. Parents' arguments should be viewed as R-rated, not suitable for children to see or hear.
Tip 6. Make exchanges as free of tension as possible. Moving from one parent's care to the other can be difficult for everyone. Saying goodbye and saying hello, feeling sad and feeling happy. Parents hold the key to making transitions easier by using normal good manners and courtesy. Your children are watching you. Show them how to be civil even with people you don't like. Parents make things worse when they use exchanges to trade insults, bring up angry topics, or pump the children for information about the other parent. The parent who receives the children should not bombard them with questions about their time with the other. This makes children feel nervous and annoyed, and usually they want to clam up. Some children feel pressure to report only bad things, as though that is all you want to hear. Children should not be made to feel like spies who tattle on their parents.
Being oversympathetic to the children's complaints can make it harder for them to go from one parent's care to the other's. Show understanding, but be firm and exercise your authority.
If exchanges have been a problem in your family, particularly if parents can't be polite to each other, it may be better for exchanges to take place at the start and the end of the school day. Or parents can leave children at a relative or a friend for the other parent to pick them up a little later. In extreme cases, parents use professionals to make sure the exchange goes well. Tip 7. Don't make a big deal out of minor mishaps. One dad made a scene at his son's soccer game because mom forgot to bring the shin guards. The boy joined in and yelled that she was a terrible mother. It became a big deal. But it didn't have to be. The coach had a spare set. Before the divorce, when parents forgot things, it was never a big deal, and it doesn't have to be now. Tip 8. Help relatives, friends, and teachers maintain neutrality. Don't encourage them to take sides. Children need people who shield them from tension and hostility. Tip 9. Rejected parents should spend time with the children in the presence of other people who treat you nicely. If your kids see cousins, teammates, and their parents enjoying your company and showing respect and affection, it may remind your children that the rest of the world does not see you as all bad. When they see you through the eyes of people who like you, they will be more able to see the good in you. Tip 10. Help your children accept that moms and dads do things differently. Some are strict, some are easygoing, Some enjoy sports, others enjoy the arts. Some want to help with homework. Some want children to do homework on their own. Don't make it hard for your children to respect the other parent by giving them the idea that your way is better than the other parent's way. Let's recap. Follow court orders. No bad-mouthing. Keep children out of adult matters. Correct false beliefs. Treat each other with respect. Keep exchanges between homes tension-free. Don't make mountains out of molehills. Keep others out of your conflicts. Spend time with people who treat you well. Accept parents' differences.
Parents need to show how much they care about their children by doing the hard thing. Put your children's welfare above your impulse to hurt your ex. Shield the children from your negative feelings. Let them have the benefit of growing up with two loving parents. When your children do grow up, they'll thank you for it.